Hi guys, do you need a backup system for power outage to protect you against floods, food spoilage, and work downtime? My boss James is here to show you how to do it with limited budget, under $500 and without any electrician. James boss, what are the things people need?
They need a plan to determine the risks, ways to deal with those risks, and what to do in an emergency.
What kind of emergency?
Events that cause damage to your home, vehicles, and property.
So, let's go to my office to keep going this conversation.
Sure.
What can they do, James boss?
Prepare their properties for damage by drainage control, minimizing potential for damage from trees and other objects, and having an emergency power backup system.
So, you deal with the third one, don't you?
Yes, once a property is prepared with things like drainage control and sump pumps, we determine what is needed for internal damage and allow people to live and work inside the house.
What are the main things people need?
The four things are power for sump pumps, refrigerators, lights, and internet. Sometimes in cold weather, heating is needed. These all need electricity, and the simplest and least expensive way is to have an inverter that is powered by your car. We have developed systems for our customers. Here's one example. The 1500 watt inverter connects to your car, and a heavy extension cable runs into the house. It goes into the kitchen where it can power lights, microwave, computer, cell phone, and refrigerator. Another cable runs into the basement for the sump pump. And even if your modem is out, you can create a hotspot with your cell phone.
How do you size the inverter, Jim?
We have a calculator that you can use to figure out the size of the inverter for your loads. Here's a summary of tests we have done for different situations. The first is a Samlex 1000 watt pure sine wave inverter with battery booster cables that connected to a car battery that powered a 5 amp, which is equivalent to a 3/4 horsepower sump pump, for power outages of 8 to 10 hours. And this would last for days on one tank of gas in the vehicle. The next is a Xantrex 1500 watt modified sine wave inverter, which was connected to a vehicle battery that powered a laptop computer, a lamp, and a dehumidifier of 1050 watts total. Another Xantrex 1500 watt modified sine wave inverter was also connected to the battery, and that powered a 950 watt electric heater. We also did a test with a standalone Apex 1500 watt pure sine wave battery backup unit that powered a refrigerator during a power outage of 12 hours, and at the end was down to about 10% of battery capacity. We also tested this Apex 1500 watt pure sine wave battery backup unit that powered a freezer during a power outage of 12 hours and was down to about 31% at the end of the power outage. The calculator lets you enter the devices you need to power and for how long. Then it picks the size of inverter that you need. You can see on this example there are a number of loads, and the customer has selected a computer, a lamp, a refrigerator, and a microwave oven. So the total power in terms of peak is 4,130 watts. The average power consumption is 315 watts, and it was used for 40 hours a day. So we also calculated the DC amp hours per day, which you can see is 561. So this example shows the peak power to be a little over 4,000, which would require an inverter to be about a 2,000 watt continuous and 4,000 watt peak inverter. All loads would work with a modified sine wave inverter, except possibly for the refrigerator with its computer controls. It could be tested first to see if it needs a pure sine wave inverter. The duration of power from the system requires 561 amp hours a day. So using a car battery would provide all the power needed as long as the vehicle is running. The average idle time for a vehicle with a full 24-gallon tank of gas is about 2 days. So most 2,000 watt battery backup units that are all self-contained provide about 90 amp hours of power and would power these loads for about 6 hours. So contact us to download the calculator.